Hello, guys, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear
Yes,
you.
yes.
So, Rahul
Yes,
and Srinivas, Snehita, and Sabrigar. Sabrigar, you are trying to call me, right?
yes, Andy.
Yeah, tell me, sir, what's the
No,
thing?
no, no, nothing. I just wanted to say hi. Nothing urgent.
No,
Do
no,
we
no.
have a session or not? So yesterday the call was disconnected. So
You know the reason why the call was disconnected. I don't know whether you know it or not, but it was disconnected, and then we are having a class, and I think Sartha madam told me about you, and then you are really looking for a fast track, and a fast track is meant to be a fast track, but I'm going to give you the complete comprehensive package of Azure data engineering in and
okay,
out. Okay,
got it. Perfect.
don't worry on that one, sir.
Okay, sure.
సో శ్రీనివాస్ మీరు న్యూగా అయ్యండి.
ఎస్ అండి.
చిన్న మీ బ్రీఫ్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ చెప్పండి ఒకసారి.
ఐఎమ్ ఇంటూ లోటస్ నోట్స్ అండి. ఐఎమ్ ఇంటూ లోటస్ నోట్స్ డెవలప్మెంట్. సో అబౌట్ 10 years of experience. సో
లోటస్ నోట్స్ అనేది చాలా చాలా ఇట్స్ ఎ గ్రేట్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్, లోటస్ నోట్స్ అనేది. లోటస్ నోట్స్, డామినో, ఎన్నో దాంట్లోనే కదా వచ్చేది మొత్తం అంతా.
అవునండి. బట్ నౌ ద మార్కెట్ ఈస్ వెరీ
రైట్.
సో జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు అంటే ఇప్పుడు డేటా సైడ్ ఎలా వస్తే ఎలా ఉంటుంది అంటే, డేటా సైంటిస్ట్ అంటే అగైన్ వీ నీడ్ టు గో ఫర్ లైక్ టూ మచ్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్, రైట్? సో డేటా ఇంజనీరింగ్ ఎలా
డేటా సైడ్ ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ ఉండదండి మీకు ఇక్కడ. ఓకే, ఎందుకంటే డేటా సైడ్ అనేది మచ్ ఆఫ్ లవింగ్ ద డేటా, ట్రైంగ్ టు హ్యావ్ సమ్ ప్యాషన్ విత్ రెస్పెక్ట్ టు ద డేటా, అండ్ దెన్ డూయింగ్ ఆల్ దోస్ డేటా ఇంజనీరింగ్ థింగ్స్. ఓకే, ప్రోగ్రామింగ్ యూ డోంట్ యూజ్ మచ్, but what really happens is much of the thing is being done with the help of this drag and drop user interface things తోనే మీరు యూజ్ చేస్తారనమాట మొత్తం అంతా టోటల్గా. అర్థమైందా? సో I'll be telling you what we are going to do. Okay, so all these people has been added to WhatsApp. ఉన్నారు అందరు వాట్సాప్లో ఉన్నారు మీరు అందరూ? I'm going to ask.
Yes, yes.
No, I'm not in the WhatsApp.
Okay, so
I am
I'll
also
ask
not in the WhatsApp.
Okay, I will ask Sartha madam to make sure that you guys are added to that WhatsApp group by tomorrow morning. Okay, so without wasting much of your time, let me start the session.
Is it a second class or third class?
Yesterday was a very ridiculous class that has happened, and we didn't have any session yesterday. And technically speaking, this is the second class.
Okay.
Sorry, first Monday we had a introductory session. Tuesday we didn't have a class. Wednesday was this is totally the first session అండి. In fact,
Okay.
మీకు ఫస్ట్ సెషన్ అయితే వద్దా కావాలా చెప్పండి ఫస్ట్ మీరు నాకు.
Yeah. But what are the prerequisites we need?
Nothing is a prerequisite. Nothing is a prerequisite.
Okay.
You coming to the class is a prerequisite, and doing the labs is a prerequisite, and then doing the assignments is a prerequisite, and then making sure that you complete the certification commitment to complete this DP203 or DP700, whatever the series that you are going to have, is something going to be a prerequisite, and అవి prerequisites వీటన్నిటికీ అర్థమవుతుందండి.
Got it.
Yeah. So Sabar garu, sorry that I didn't pick your call, and I was in the another Azure class at that point of time.
You good, sir. You are in Eastern. Which city you are on?
Florida and Florida.
Florida. Okay, I'm near
Orlando.
Okay, Orlando. Okay, good.
The magical city of the entire universe,
Where in the Orlando, bro?
Orlando in Winter Garden.
Winter Garden? I used to stay in the Millennium Mall and later I got moved to the Clearmont.
Oh, now we are in Clearmont?
No, I moved to the Ohio recently.
Ohio recently, okay. Clearmont is just near to this Winter Garden,
Like 22 miles, like around 15 miles.
Yeah, not even 15 miles, man. We have a bypass that has come where we can go 7 miles and then we can go to that Clearmont.
Yeah. I used to stay over there.
Yeah, no problem, sir. Okay, so this is the screen. So there are a couple of prerequisites that Sarthi garu unnaru ikkada.
ఎస్ అండి, ఉన్నాను. యా,
Thanks for making the class very active and appreciate it and Sarth garu.
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
And wishing you a very happy marriage anniversary అండి.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్.
Okay.
థ్యాంక్ యూ. యా,
So
థ్యాంక్ యూ.
ikkada there are a couple of things that I'm telling to the people. Guys, please listen to me. The first thing what you are supposed to have is that you are expected to have an Azure account. Azure account. I'm not going to dig deep into the cloud computing concepts, but I just want to tell you a couple of concepts that are going to be important for you in order to work within this cloud computing platform. Okay. So among them, the first thing is that, let me tell you one thing. When you go to this portal.azure.com, let me do one thing here.
Can you ping in the chat too, please?
Yeah, I'll do that one. Portal.azure.com. Just keep it for your purpose. When you click on this portal.azure.com, here, what you do is that you see here, it will be asking you to create an account. So here, you can try to go ahead and then go to this one, and then you can try to specify something like Azure free trial account. Trial account creation step by step. Azure free trial account like this. Okay. So what it will be asking you is that it will be asking you create your free trial account today. Okay. So here what it says is that get 12 months of free services. Okay. But the thing is that when you try to go to this free trial account, what you do is that you can try to do this Azure for free. So initially what it will do is that it will give you the Azure free trial account only for 1 month. Within 1 month, they'll give you $200 credit. Okay, where you can try to explore those particular services within Azure. Okay, but the thing is, not all the services are free. Okay, you have to pay for the services that you're going to use, and especially you are supposed to pay for the Azure data services that you're going to use. So that's the reason what you have to do is that the moment once you create a free trial account, you need to convert that free trial account into pay as you go account. Okay. So when we say that is a pay as you go account, what generally happens is you will be billed for the usage what you are using, like electricity bill. Okay, you need to put your credit card. Okay, then what happens is that at the end of the month, how much are the services that you have consumed, either for the storages or for the virtual machines or for the data engineering, databases, networking, for all those particular things, you'll be charged. Okay, once you are charged, you need to pay that particular billing. You need to pay that particular billing. So that's the reason what really happens is that you have to convert your free trial account into pay as you go account. So once all the names are added in the WhatsApp group, tomorrow morning, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to give you the steps to create this free trial Azure account and convert that Azure account into the pay as you go account in order to utilize all the data engineering services of this Azure platform. Is that concept clear to everyone?
Yes.
Question?
Yes.
Yeah. So that is the first and foremost thing I'm expecting everyone to understand. Okay. Now the second thing is here is see here.
Do you need Outlook account or Microsoft account?
Any account is okay. Any
Any
account is okay. Even if your
Gmail also
Gmail
okay?
account also as well, you can have the option of creating your Azure account. Okay.
Gmail also, right? Okay.
Gmail also can be used. That is not a problem. Okay.
What about the college accounts?
Student account lo kuda you will have some free services that you can use and okay. For example,
Mm.
when you go to this Google and then specify something like student Azure account advantages, Azure account features and benefits. If you try to see this one here, it will tell you what benefits you're having here for students account, free account created. And with see here, they try to give you this start with $100 account and then free services. They'll give you, okay, but not
Mm.
all the services are free. That's the reason. Ultimately, you have to convert your free trial account into pay-as-you-go account only. Okay, is that okay?
Because I created my account with my college account and I added the credit card. And it's like only 1 month of free trial account, like
It's
1 month
1 month of free
free.
trial account only. After that, you will be charged. Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be like I added my card and
Yeah,
everything,
you had
like
a
it's
carded
giving,
account also as
and
well.
all the app features was working with it.
So, Nikhil Reddy, one thing can you please do?
Mm.
Can you please create a document? If you have any
Documents.
document that is there
Mm.
to help the people to create their account and then put the navigation steps, can you please post it in the WhatsApp group in case if you can?
Okay.
Okay, that would be helpful. Okay. Now,
Okay.
coming to this home, when you get into the Azure, this is the first page that you're going to see. This is nothing but your home page, or else we try to call this one as the landing page. Is that clear? This is nothing but the home page, or else we try to call this one as the landing page. So yesterday I was telling something like there are 5 services that are the basic pillars of your cloud computing. 5 services that are the basic pillars of this cloud computing. Okay. Now, if you want to understand what are those 5 services which are supposed to be the basic 5 pillars, what you need to do is that you have to go like this. When you try to go to this home, you'll be able to see this particular all services. You are following. You should be able to see all these particular services here. Okay. When you try to see these particular services, you should be able to see something like compute. You know what is compute here? When you want to process anything or when you want to develop an application and when you want to execute any particular application, what you need to have is that you need to have this compute that should exist. And this is the place where you will be able to launch the servers. This is the place where you will be able to have the operating system that need to be installed. All those particular things will be coming under this particular compute thing. So compute, when you try to check this particular compute, you should be able to see something like virtual servers. All these particular things will be coming under this compute here. But the good thing is that within Azure data engineering, we are not going to use any of these virtual machines. We are not running any of these virtual machines. We are going to use the services that are already available, and then those are all the services that are supposed to be managed by Azure. Sabrikar, మీరు follow అవుతున్నారా? Those are the services that are supposed to be followed by that are managed by Azure. Only those services only we are going to use. Okay. But now the thing what we have to do is that we have to really understand what are the services that are basically meant for your Azure data engineering. Okay. For Azure data engineering, what you have to do is that we have to use these databases because data is the key asset, right? So you need to have the place where you need to store the data. So you'll be utilizing these Azure database services, some of them, and you'll be using these analytical services. Okay. And you'll be using these security because one thing that you need to understand within Azure is no service trust another service. No service, trust another service. So if one service has to trust another service, automatically what should happen is that we need to have that security that need to be maintained between those two services. Okay, for that particular purpose, we need to go with respect to this particular security. Then the next important thing that you are having here is storage. Right now, these days, what you are having here is that you're not going to have only your structured data, right? The data that is stored in the form of tables. You are going to have something like unstructured data, as well as you are going to have something like semi-structured data. Structured and semi-structured data is going to be there. So when you want to store all this structured, unstructured, and semi-structured data, then what we have to do is that we need to have the place where we need to store it. Gigabytes and terabytes or petabytes of data that we need to store. So the place where we can have the option of storing them is storage is very important here. Storage. Okay. And obviously, the other thing that is really important is networking. Networking is important. Why is this networking important? Because I told you, right? Azure is something that is not localized to a particular region. Azure is a global specific, Azure is globally expanded. When Azure is globally expanded, what we have to do? We have to have the network connectivity between each and every region. So for that particular purpose, this networking is also really important here. So that's why in the complete Azure, whether you are working in Azure, whether you are working in AWS or Google or any other cloud services, there are three prominent things that are important. What are those three prominent things? One is compute is important. Second thing is that databases is important. The third thing is networking is important. And fourth thing is that storage is important. And fifth one is that security is important. But for our data engineering, there is one more thing that is really important. That is nothing but your analytics also as well. And these are all the different categories where you are going to have so many services that we want to use. So that's why cloud computing is nothing but a collection of the different services, okay, that are organized into different categories that allows different types of IT people. What are all the different types of IT people? You might be a developer, you might be a tester, you may be a DevOps person, you might be a data scientist, data engineer, machine learning professional, or else you might be anything for that particular matter. For everybody, there is a specific, for everyone, there is a specific category that you can use in order to utilize these particular services so that you can develop your applications and make it global so that everybody can start using this particular cloud. This is what is called as cloud computing. Okay. So I'll tell you some synopsis about cloud computing. A couple of synopsis about cloud computing is, are you owning the resources or you are leasing the resources? Tell me, guys.
Leasing or
Leasing.
renting.
We are only leasing the resources. So now tell me, owning the resource costs more or leasing the resource costs more?
Leasing is
O-
costless,
Owning the
and owning
resources
is
cost more.
Owning the resources cost more rather than leasing the resources. ఏమంటే మీరు కార్ కొన్నారండి, you purchased a car and then you leased a car. Which costs more? Purchasing a car costs more, right? So that is the thing. And third thing is that in cloud computing, what is important is you pay as you go. What do you mean by pay as you go? You please tell me. What do you mean by you pay as you go?
Whatever the resources you are using, only charge for those.
Whatever the resources that you are using, only you'll be charged only for those particular resources, but you will not be charged for the other things. Okay, that is what is called as pay as you go. Okay, now another thing that I'll tell you, I'll ask you is stop guessing about capacity. What does it mean? Stop guessing about capacity. What does it mean? Stop guessing about capacity. What does it mean? Can anybody tell me what do you mean by stop guessing about capacity?
So you have to be innovative, right?
Innovative ante kuda, is there any other way that we can try to come up with the things and stop guessing about capacity? I'll tell you 1 minute.
It
ఇప్పుడు
might
like
have
a
more storage or
elastic, right?
less storage, but
Yeah.
we need to manage accordingly.
We need to monitor the storage.
It is
అలా
elastic, right? It expand.
stop guessing. Yeah, who is telling that expands? Yes. Stop guessing capacity. Ante, suppose you purchase your laptop. Within that laptop, you are having uh, 500 GB of hard disk is there. Okay. Now you have a family worth of so many pictures and videos that has been taken, and then you want to store within your laptop. You are having only 500 GB. You have 1 terabyte of data that need to be stored. How do you do that one? Either you need to expand your hard disk, or else you need to buy a new laptop which is having 1 terabyte of storage, or else you need to purchase one flash drive of 1 terabyte storage and then you need to store. So you need to look for so many options because you are limited by the size of the hard disk, you are limited by the power of your computing, and you are limited by so many limited resources over there. So that's the reason. That's the reason. What happens is that you will not be able to perform much on these particular things. That's the reason what we prefer to do is when you go to cloud, who is providing the resources? Azure is providing the resources. Okay. Now, if we want 10 GB, it will provide 10 GB. If we want 100 terabyte or 100 petabyte also, it will provide. So that's why there is no limit for the computation. There is no limit for the storage, and there is no limit for the computations that you want to do within the cloud. That's the reason what really happens is, um, that's the reason what really happens is there is no need for you to think about how much capacity of RAM, server, all these particular things are really required. That's the reason we can stop guessing capacity here. And another thing that you need to do is that elasticity and scalability. Can anybody tell me what do you mean by this elasticity and scalability? Because I will show you this one also as well. There is something called as elasticity. What does it mean by that elasticity? Suppose when you take a rubber band, what it will do? When you try to stretch it, it increases, and then when you try to shrink it, it decreases. So automatically what happens is in cloud, you are having the greatest power of increasing your resources automatically whenever when there is a heavy peak load that exists. You can also have the option of decreasing your resources whenever there is less load. For example, I was showing you on the day, right? When you try to see this one here, in 2016, there is a less load. In 2017, suppose if you take something like 2018, especially in the month of 8 and 9, there is a heavy load. And in all these particular months, there is a very low load here. So automatically in the cloud, what happens is that whenever there is a less load, the resource consumption will be low. And whenever where is this one here, more resources are required here. So cloud service provider automatically provides the more resources when there is a more demand of load processing, and automatically provides less resources when there is a low load of processing. So that providing more and less is something that is being done automatically. That's the reason we try to call that one as elasticity. So these are all the things that are really important for your cloud computing purposes. Is that clear to everyone? Are any questions? Elasticity, stop guessing about capacity, leasing the resources. Okay. And what else we told you here? I told you something like on-demand provisioning. What do you mean by on-demand provisioning? So the resources will be provided whenever you want them. Okay. Whenever you don't need any particular resources, what happens is that you can release them when you don't use them. That's why it is called as on-demand provisioning. So these are all the things that are good for the cloud. So what are the different types of clouds that you are having here? You have this Azure cloud, you have this AWS cloud, and then you have this mm, GCP cloud, Google
GCP.
Cloud Platform. These are the three things that you're having here. And among them, these are the things that are really important. And then we are focusing only on this Azure. So when you want to access your cloud computing platforms, what are the things that are really required? You need to have a very good internet connection, and you need to have the credentials to log in into that portal. You need to have an account, and then that account need to be provided with the credit card for accessing the resources. And then you will be charged based on the consumption of the resources that you have been using. This is the very short and sweet introduction about your cloud computing. Any questions you are having here, please let me know. I'll come back in 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Any questions on cloud computing?
No.
No.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
excuse me, sir. I have one doubt. Out of this
definitely.
one, yeah, like we have covered. You have any topics like Azure Data Factory or Data Bricks or something with this course?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, okay. That's the thing I need. Thank you, thank you.
Azure Data Factory is the main thing that we are going to cover.
Yeah, okay, okay. So I have one question like this. Okay, thank you.
First of all, what is the name of this course?
Your Databricks data engineer.
Azure Data Engineering.
Yes.
Now tell me, who is the data engineer and what that does data engineer does?
Data engineer maintain the data, right? The backend, and it stores in the data warehouse, and we will do the analytics. What kind of data we are getting? To so many things. Generate a report.
Hmm.
The report, in the sense, I'm talking about the business reports,
Mm-hmm.
and write a PySpark code, PySpark SQL, something like that,
Hmm.
and massage the data and apply the business rule.
You are telling very good things, Separikaru.
Okay.
You are telling that we want to massage the data. That is a very good thing. You are telling that we'll be applying some business rules. That is also a very good thing. Okay. And you have been telling that we will be doing a reporting part by writing those reports. Okay. These are all the things that the data engineer does. Okay. Now I told you, right? In Azure, when we go into this portal, Azure portal, we were having these many services that you're having. And among these services, I told you like there are a couple of services that we use. Surendra or Sandeep. Sandeep has been asking something like when we go into this
Yes, sir.
analytics, we have this, where is that one? Data factories. You see this one here? This is the thing that we are going to use. Azure
Yeah,
Data Factories.
yeah, yeah. Azure Data Factories. I see.
So these are the tools that we are going to use within this Azure Data Platform. Okay. The purpose of this course is we want to learn about this Azure Data Platform. Okay, that means that what is this modern data platform is something that we want to understand first. We want to understand what is this Azure Data Factory, Azure SQL database, and Azure Synapse Analytics, along with Azure Data Lake. And here we are going to have something like data integration and transformations. What we do here, Sabrigar is telling something like we want to massage the data. That massaging is called as transforming this particular data. And what is this data security and compliance? So these are all the things that we are going to see in this particular Azure Data Engineering course within this 21 to 25 days of course that we are going to see in this particular module. So basically, you need to understand what a data engineer does. Okay, so in order to understand what a data engineer does, this is what this data engineering is going to do. You're going to have something like the data sources. So first, let us talk about these data sources. Can anybody tell me what exactly are these data sources? What are these data sources?
I can tell, but I'll wait for others' chance.
Yeah.
It can be like a database or any stream data.
For example, I'll tell you in a very simple sense.
Images,
These
text.
are all the different sources which are generating the data, right? See, if you take this one, this is your healthcare. Is it not your healthcare is generating the data? And you're having something like cars. Cars are not generating the data or not. Your driving habits and the way you have your Google Maps that are giving your live data feeds. That is the data. And then you have your IoT devices that are giving the data. And then these are all the places where the data gets generated, right? So that means that every business is a data business. Stock market is a data business. Banking is a data business. Banking is a data business. Insurance is a data business. Retail market is a data business. Online shopping is a data business. These are all the data businesses. And all this data is getting generated. Okay, when all this data is getting generated, there is a place where the data gets stored. Okay, that storage of that particular data is something called as the data source that we are talking here. And a data source is the place where your data is getting generated. Data source is the place where your data is getting generated here. This is your data source. Now, when your data is getting generated here, now the question is that what does this one here? Master the value of data. What does it mean? You tell me. When we want to master the value of data, Sabrikar, what does it mean?
Oh, sorry, I was talking on mute. But the question, can you repeat the question, please?
No, what I'm asking is here you see this one, master the value of data. What does it mean?
Master the value of the data. So we track it in a text file or pipe delimiter and sending, or master the value of the data. So, okay, the business data, right? If a good doctor mean doctor information and the clinical information, something.
See here. The data is going exponentially. Do you agree this one or not?
Yes.
The data is generating from so many resources, right?
Correct.
So many resources.
Yes.
And this data is being used by so many people also as well, right?
Yes.
And is it not, it is being analyzed by many applications also as well?
Of course.
Now, if you want to go to a movie without understanding the review of a movie, we don't go to the movie, right?
That's true.
Because we wait for the in case if you don't want to go to the theater to see that movie, we will wait for that thing that to come on OTT. Then only we'll be able to see the movie, right? So it's not that you are looking into that reports, right? And second thing is that you want to purchase some shares in the share market. How do you do that one? Every day you need to see the stock market, whether the prices are going up or whether the prices are going down, and whether it is worth to buy or not. You decide, and accordingly only you will try to purchase. So that is the place where the share market reports are coming up here. The reports are coming up here. Okay. And the third thing is you talk about healthcare data. What is that healthcare data? So many people are trying to focus on their vitals reports to check their health and everything, right? So there also the health status, the reports are important. Okay, and especially when you are in US or in India, your house is secured by that alarming system, right? Okay, it's not someone is really monitoring you over there. Someone is going to really monitor you, and especially you are going in a car, and then the navigation system is showing something like this route is busy, and then this route is free, and then you can go in less time. This is the fastest route. So it's not something like these are all the real-time reporting that we are doing here, Nikhil Reddy.
Yep.
So that means that you have the so much data that is stored within these databases. But what we need to have is that all the data need to be stored and then need to be analyzed. So we have two ends here. One hand is data is growing exponentially, and then I want to have the data to be reported and analyzed in a proper way. Okay, so whatever the data that is growing exponentially, the data is nothing but your raw data. The data what you are having here is nothing but your raw data. That is the data is nothing but your raw data, right? So in such a case, can the raw data can be directly used for reporting purposes? Sabri garu, can we use the data directly for our reporting purposes?
No, you have to put it in a proper format,
We have
right?
to put it in a format.
Format.
We need to properly analyze the data. We need to
Yes.
properly convert the data, as well as we need to properly transform that particular data. So without properly converting, transforming, and all those particular things, we'll not be able to report that data, right? We'll not be able to report that particular data. That's the reason what is really required is that your data transformation is required. Data transformation is required. Okay, for the particular data transformation, see here, our customer challenges what you are having here. Data is increasing in data volumes. The data is not only coming from your operational OLTP devices or devices, it is coming from web sensors and social media also as well. The data is coming. And there is so much data that is coming from the cloud also as well. Okay. And you are having something like real-time business requests. Can anybody tell me what is the purpose of our real-time business requests?
But day-to-day business, right? The day-to-day business, what they need. Tomorrow, business expands, you need to add more requirement.
See, the thing is, today I want to buy a share. Shall I see the current trend and then buy the share, or else shall I see the previous day trend and then buy the share? You tell me.
Both previous and
I
current.
want to understand the analysis, right? I want to understand the analysis and then I want to purchase that particular share. So that such type of requests are called as this real-time. Real-time request is something like you're putting a Google map and then you're going in a direction. Okay. Suppose if the traffic is very heavy, will you take that route, Sabri garu?
No.
If the traffic is rush in that area, you don't take that route, right?
Yes.
You go with a different route.
Yeah.
So that is based on real time. That is what is called as the real time here. Okay, so these are all the challenges that you are having here. So for all these particular challenges, what we want to do is that we just don't want to go with the current trend. Instead, what we prefer to do is that we want to follow a particular approach. What is that particular approach? The approach is nothing but trying to create a place where we can try to transform the data and then use the data for our reporting needs. So that's the reason what we are trying to do is that we are trying to have the data here in the data sources. Before we consume that particular data, what are the process that we are doing here? Can anybody tell me? What are the process that we are doing in between?
You
We are
need to
collecting
get
the data.
you need to get the external file or data, collect all these data, put it in a process or put it in a required format and store it in the backend.
And
Then
then we need to consume
start
these
the
things, right?
analytics. Yeah.
So all this particular part, what you're having here, this is something that is being done by your data engineers. This is something that can be done with this data engineers. That means that the data engineers in today's market are responsible for collecting the data from your proper data sources, process them. While they are trying to process them, what they are going to do here, they are going to validate, clean and transform the data, what is really required, and then they try to store the data. Where they are going to store the data, these are the new terms that we are going to see. We are going to store the data in these data warehouses and data lakes, and finally we'll start using this particular data for your consumption purposes. We'll start using this data for our consumption purposes. So this is the place where the entire thing is going to come into the picture. This is what is called as your modern computing platform. See here, what are you saying here? A modern data computing architecture aims at providing the organizations to effectively manage their data, process it, and extract valuable insights in order to make a decision making. This is the place where we want to use this data engineering platform here. Mohit, are you able to follow what we are talking here? Mohit? So can anybody tell me what is this data engineering platform and what is the role of a data engineer? Very shortly.
Like data engineer can do collect the data and to process it and store a data in particular place like data lakes and or data warehouses. Consume the data.
And
That's
consume the
the
data.
thing the data engineer do.
This is what a data engineer do.
Yeah.
We want to implement this data engineering concept within Azure cloud. That's the reason the title for this whole thing is nothing but your Azure data engineering platform. Is that clear to everyone, or any questions? Please let me know.
I'm good. Thank you.
No
Everything is
questions.
clear.
To everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Shivagaru, Srinivas, and then
Yes. Yes.
Snehita. Yeah. Now, what we are going to do now? we are going to create a WhatsApp group. Within that WhatsApp group, please make sure that everybody is going to be there by paying the fee or whatever it is to the respective institute, and then make sure that you get your WhatsApp number and then be the part of that group. That is the first requirement that I'm asking everyone. Second requirement is once that WhatsApp group is created and then once all the people are in, someone is going to help us. Someone is going to help us to create a free tier account within Azure and then convert that free tier account into pay-as-you-go account. That's the second thing that we need to do. Okay, then that is the second thing. As I have told you, there are a couple of things that we need to understand within cloud computing. Already I have shown you what are all those cloud computing things. What are those things here? I told you something like Azure cloud is something like pay-as-you-go, on-demand computing, okay, elasticity, stop guessing capacity, all those particular things I have told you. Leasing the resources, not owning the resources. These are all the things that we discussed. All these things are going to be important. And then I told you like Azure comes up with a lot of 200 plus resources and all, but all those resources are not going to be important. We are going to focus only on the services that are required for your Azure data engineering. Someone is asking whether Azure Data Factory is being covered or not. May I know that gentleman who is asking that Azure Data Factory?
Yeah, so me, I'm asking the data.
So you can see here, right?
Yeah, I can see.
Azure Data Factory is being covered. Azure SQL database is being covered. Azure Synapse Analytics is being covered. Data lakes is being covered. Data integration and transformation, data security, monitoring and automation. These are all the various roles for the Azure data engineer, and these are all the things that are going to be covered from tomorrow. These are all the things that we are going to cover from tomorrow. Okay.
Okay.
And then what is a data engineer and what the data engineer does, everything is going to be covered. We are going to discuss this Microsoft platform within this particular cloud, and these are the objectives here. What are these objectives here? The objectives is nothing but you'll gain the skills and knowledge need to become a proficient data engineers, capable of designing, building, and maintaining the infrastructure that drives these data pipelines and these data lakes. This is what we are going to do in this 25-day program here. Is it clear? And any questions?
I think creating Azure thing was pretty straightforward. I done during
Of course, it is. Yeah, it is pretty straightforward.
Very
No rocket
straightforward.
science.
I just done.
You just follow some steps and then it will help you. Even when you go to Google also as well, it will show you how to create this free tier account. It will show you.
Yeah, there's so many YouTube videos. They are helping. It's pretty straightforward.
Free Azure account. See here, it will show you the things that you have. Yeah, start free, sign into the menu, create a new one, enter your country, enter your free date, use your credit card number, but not a prepaid card. Azure will not charge your card when you sign up, but there will be a temporary verification hold. Free details, new account holders can get a 30-day free trial period. Eligible customers gets $200 in credits. Unused credits cannot be carried over to the subsequent months. That is what we do with this Azure free trial account here. Create your account and then you should be done. Okay. Here you can follow this one K21 Academy, how to create a free storage account. They will tell you the steps how to create, and then you can keep going along. Is that clear to everyone?
Yeah, it's clear.
Tomorrow, once you do this one, tomorrow we'll talk about what is this modern data platform, what is these data lakes, and what are these data warehouses, and what we does. We discuss all these particular things, and then we'll start going into the concepts of practical implementation of this Azure data platform starting from tomorrow and then Monday. So any questions from your side, please let me know before
If you don't mind, can you share the PPT with us so we can?
Yeah, I'll do that one to you. Yeah, I'll share it to
Okay.
Sarthikaru and Sarthikaru will share it to you. Okay?
Okay, fine. Thank you.
So one question, Andy. So when you say data ingestion, what is the data ingestion? That's the input file coming or?
Data ingestion is nothing but collecting the data into a place before we start putting the data into that place basically.
They are talking about streaming and all, right? Is that the part of
Streaming and batch both. Both
Okay.
are going to be there in the form of this one here.
Streaming is a real-time data, batch is the nightly batch?
Nightly batch, yes sir.
Okay, data ingestion, Azure Data Factory.
Yeah.
And one question, Andy. So what is the difference between data brick versus data factory?
Azure
Yes.
Data Factory is a component of Azure Cloud.
Entire thing, all the
Yeah.
services.
Azure Databricks is a separate data cloud platform. Okay. And it has a subscription with, it has a connection with Azure. That's why it is being called as Azure Databricks. Azure Databricks. It is also the platform that is basically used to do all these data engineering and data analytical activities over there, like databricks.com.
So
Like
data brick is separate and data factory is separate?
yes, yes. Data Factory is a product of Azure.
Okay.
Okay. Azure Databricks is a company and it is providing a friendly service to Azure. That's why it is being called as Azure Databricks.
Okay, so all the services, whatever we talked earlier,
Mm.
right? That container, database, networking, security, all
These are all the products, these are all the services of Azure only. Yes.
Azure Data Brick, right?
No, these are all the services of Azure.
Okay.
And within that Azure also as well, there is one more service that you are having here that is nothing but your Azure Databricks.
Oh, Azure Data Bricks. Okay. What that does?
It also does the same data engineering activities, but mostly this is a coding based language, uses Python and scripting. Python and Spark it uses.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you cover this too in the course?
Yes, I'll be covering the integration of Azure Data Factory with Azure Databricks. I'll be covering, sir. Yes.
Okay. Okay. But factory is outside the data brick.
Yeah, factory is totally different. Yes.
Okay. What is the purpose that one? You said that this
Azure
is a
Data Factory is an ETL tool that is basically meant for doing your activities without any code. It is simply a drag and drop user interface that we use. But that one, what you are having here, Azure Databricks is a programming based ETL platform. That's the difference.
Okay. Brick is a program like Python and PySpark.
Yes.
Factory is a drag and drop, like
drag and dropping. Yes, sir.
ETL. Okay. Thank you, Andy. Super explanation. I was confusing like reading the Google.
No, no.
Yeah, you mentioned data bricks, right? So programming is there. So we'll learn programming as well.
Azure Databricks is a separate course only.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay. Azure Data Engineering is a separate course. In Azure Data Engineering, the main tool what we are going to use is Azure Data Factory.
Okay.
And we'll be studying the integration of Azure Databricks with Azure Data Factory. As a supplemental thing we'll be seeing, but Azure Databricks will not be covered in this course because that is a separate course that we need to really look into. Understood?
Okay.
What
But
is the prerequisite for Databrick? You should know the Python.
You should know the Python. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. But where is the Spark coming here?
And Databricks is created on the Spark platform.
Oh, okay.
Spark engine.
Spark engine. Okay.
Yeah. I think I have one thing that I can show it to you. 1 minute. All the OPT students are there today, or any OTP students are there today?
I'm the one.
Oh, okay. I'll show you 1 minute. In case if it is there. So this is Azure Databricks. This is Microsoft Azure. This is Databricks and this is Spark. Databricks uses Spark and Databricks is a service within Microsoft Azure. Okay. Separate అర్థమైంది మీకు అది?
Yes, Andy, I'm talking on mute. Thank you so much, Andy.
Yeah.
But you teach Databricks too, Andy?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Maybe that is my next course.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's it from my side, and then we'll meet tomorrow and we'll take it from there, guys. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you so much once
Thank
again.
you.